Pick up the cylinder key and identify which side is marked off and which side is marked on. Place the key with the on side facing upwards onto the oxygen cylinder valve and turn the key clockwise to turn the oxygen cylinder on, whilst observing the pressure gauge to ensure there is adequate oxygen in the cylinder and that the needle moves freely. Turn the oxygen flow on, rotating the dial fully clockwise, and check that the bobbin moves freely throughout the entire range without sticking. Turn the oxygen flow off to check that the bobbin does not stick when the flow is decreased. Turn the oxygen flow on again to a set rate, for example 4 litres a minute. On this bobbin, the flow rate is measured at the top of the bobbin rather than in the middle of the bobbin. To check the function of the low oxygen pressure alarm, we need to turn the oxygen cylinder off whilst the oxygen flow is left on. First, place the cylinder key onto the oxygen cylinder valve with the off side facing upwards, and turn off the cylinder by turning it clockwise. Watch as the pressure gauge decreases and the bobbin drops in the oxygen flow meter. The low oxygen alarm should sound at this point. Check that the oxygen alarm ceases to sound when the pressure is restored. To do this, we turn the oxygen cylinder back on again, remembering to place the key so that the on side is facing upwards. The oxygen pressure and oxygen flow should be restored when the valve is turned on. Turn the oxygen flow off. Next, we wish to fit a vaporizer to the anaesthetic machine. Being careful not to tip the vaporizer, it is lifted and gently lowered onto the 2 fitting posts on the back bar. The vaporizer is then locked in place by turning the lever behind the dial until it clicks, and it's checked that it is secure by attempting to move it. We want to ensure that there is adequate volatile agent in the vaporizer by examining the meniscus in the sight glass at the bottom of the front of the vaporizer. We then check that the filling port is securely closed by twisting the knurled cap clockwise. Test that the dial moves freely and smoothly throughout its entire range. The locking button on the dial is pressed and the dial is free to move. Finally, we check that the emergency oxygen flush button delivers gas by listening for the flow of gas when it is pressed and listening that this flow also stops when the button is released. The anaesthetic machine check is now complete.